All right, welcome back. Now I'm early today for a change. Uh, I'm now like a minute early. I was actually like a minute and few seconds early, so I'm gonna stall for about a minute or two. Let people come on in the room. Big shout out to everybody. It is Thursday already. I don't know about you, but this week flew by for me. Flew by like nothing. And to make it even easier, I'm using vacation tomorrow. So be on the lookout for me to go early, live early tomorrow, earlier than usual. Um, Aside from morning live streams, the other times I usually go live is late at night, usually after midnight Eastern time. But tomorrow, be on the lookout around 8, 9 o'clock. A lot of stuff to deal with here. And big shout out to all the content creators. Big shout out to all the content creators. Those of you who don't know, if you are not familiar with the other YouTubers, the other YouTube content creators, you can go to my old page. And I'm going to update this on my new channel as well. It looks like they've changed a lot of stuff, so I have to figure out this new formula that they have. But I don't know what's going on, but you got to do some different things to get to. But you go to my home page, scroll down here, and you'll see recommended channels, and these are other content creators, but there's more than this. See, YouTube only allows us to show a few, okay? Now, not all of them produce all or only dog related videos. Some of them, they're talking about the weather, they're talking about other things, okay? But one content creator that a lot of people know about that sort of lurks under the radar, and he's been around, he's been putting in work for years, and he is in his own anti-dog zone over there. But here recently, he uploaded a very important video that I'm going to share on this live stream. Okay, this guy is Worthless Mutts. You see, he wrote, "I am an incel." Now, some people have said, "Hey, IHD, why do you don't shout out other channels? Those channels are not as popular as yours. Don't shout them out." But you got to understand, if there's no other content creators saying the same things that I'm saying, then it makes me come off like a con artist or a liar. And you would have to scratch your head at that. If what this guy is saying is so true and he's producing like thousands of hours worth of content talking about it, then why isn't other people talking about it? The other content creators, more than you understand, help to validate me. They help to validate my base, okay, the foundation of my channel, arguments. But I want y'all to look at this. And Worthless Mutts almost has 1,000 subscribers. Many people tune in to Worthless Mutts. I listen to his videos as well. But about 18 hours ago, he uploaded this right here. And another thing that I've been trying to get through to people, I believe all of the anti-dog content creators, at least the vast majority of them, they're going to be a lot more popular in, say, 5-10 years. A whole lot more popular, right? So may as well get acquainted with them because they put out a lot of information that I don't. A whole lot. But I want y'all to check out this video. It's only 2 minutes long. And I've even sped it up a little bit. Check this out.
Better trained than a dog. See how they're not jumping around, moving, barking. I know they're moving, but when dogs move, they just They're just so more annoying. They're running, jumping, smelling everything. God, they're just they don't stay still. But most of them, they're these lions are more collective. Dogs don't do this. They're always moving, always running, always smelling things. As soon as they see someone, they want to go right up to them. Here we have many lions, even the lion cubs as well. But none of them are approaching this guy. None of them are coming up to smell him, to touch him, to say hi.
Now, I have to stop it there. That's a very good point. I don't understand why other people don't see this. Look at how different dogs behave than other animals and even other predators. Go ahead and compare dog behavior to the behavior of other predators, natural predators. I'm telling y'all something else. If you sit and observe the behavior of dogs, and I'm not talking about domestic dogs, wild dogs in Africa, when you sit and watch the behavior of wild dogs in Africa, it's night and day. They behave, they function nothing like these dogs here. For those who don't know, I don't believe wild dogs should be exterminated. I believe all these other mutant dogs should be exterminated. I believe wild dogs should be protected. Okay? Now let's finish this.
None. Come on, this is way better than dogs. And when a dog sees you, they're literally on your ass. And the thing is, like, you could even be on public street.
See? He pointed out when a dog just sees you, they're going to be flipping out. They're going to start barking. As soon as a dog sees you move, sees that you're a living creature, they start spazzing out. But don't you know they would be spazzing out even worse if they were with their puppies, like this lioness, these lioness is with their cubs? And look how close they are to him. Where's the anxiety? Where's the fear that y'all claim is so natural for animals, so natural for predators? No, it's just dogs because dogs are deranged mutants.
The dog could be inside its home, and the dog is still going to bark at you. Here we have lions with no window, no structure, nothing between the man and the lion. Look how they behave.
Now, that is a powerful point. It just is. A dog will see you from inside of a home, separated by walls and windows. It can see you on the other side of the street from inside of a home, and it will start barking incessantly. As soon as it sees that you are a living creature, it starts spazzing out. And I keep trying to explain to people that is a manifestation of its retardedness. That behavior is a manifestation of its mutant state. Right? It's putting up a red flag, letting everybody know I am a mutant that should not exist.
Did anyone have to train these lions to do this?
Did anybody have to train these lions to be calm like they are? Like you have to train dogs to be calm? When you see a dog jumping around, moving around, the dog lovers will say, oh, he's just hyperactive. He wants to play. Right? And others will say stuff like that. But no. If that's normal animal behavior, then why don't we see that behavior in other animals? And another thing I want y'all to notice, the behavior you see by these lioness, notice it's the exact same behavior that you see with cats. With alley cats, regular domestic small cats, they behave exactly the same. They're both very calm, very relaxed, not invading people's personal space, violating people. That's unnatural even for animals to do. Animals don't approach me. People on the every day, on a day-to-day basis, I come very close to several different animals. And a lot of you do too. You just may not have realized it. I come in a close proximity with swan, ducks, a lot of groundhogs, I mean, a lot of now groundhogs do run away. They run away from everything. They can see something move, or they're just like, that's just how they are. But they don't always run away. Sometimes if they see that you're not bothering them, they'll walk right past you. We've had several of those groundhogs run into our building. Okay, so groundhogs, the ducks, the swan, we come across, none of them become filled with anxiety. None of them are flipping out like dogs. But with dogs, they start spazzing out and you got to give them medication. What does that sound like? That ain't no natural animal. You got to stuff pills down their throat to get them to calm down. That's ridiculous and pathetic. Let's finish this.
Did anyone have to train these lions to do this? Did any person have to take these lions to a dog nut trainer and say, teach my dog not to approach people? Say, teach my lion not to approach people. Not one. Not one. Why can't dogs do this? Because dogs are brain dead mutants. That's why.
Now, another thing. When it comes to us here on YouTube, I look at our presence here on YouTube as one entity. We're pretty much one entity because we know what we're talking about. We're very specific. We're talking about dogs, the dog problem. And the goal is to rid our communities of these worthless, good-for-nothing mutants. Let me share this. I'm going to need people to check that out and listen. Let me listen carefully. I want people to see abnormalness. I want people to see something that they shouldn't see. Okay? When you see a dog, I want you to see something that shouldn't be there, that's not supposed to be there. I don't want you to see God's creature because that's not what they are. Okay? I want you to be in line with the truth. When you look at a dog, I don't want you to see nature's product. It's not a product of nature. It's not a product of God. If you are a believer in God, there's no God nowhere that created dogs, and no God nowhere would. Okay? Now, I want to deal with a couple stories, and then I'm going to get to the Duck Dynasty guy. I don't know how many people knew this guy by name, but y'all remember that big mutt that they named Hulk? The owner name is Marlon Greenan. And he recently was in the news. This surfaced yesterday on The Sun. Now, this is a major media outlet. And this is a very popular man. But because he is a pit bull lover, everything he says is brainless, asinine, illogical, so on and so forth. Okay? It does not matter how much respect they get, how many accolades they have. Does not matter how many followers they have, how famous or popular they are, how much money they have. If you defend the presence of dogs in society, you're going to sound like an illogical, insane lunatic. Okay? And this applies to him as well. But I wanted to share this because, I felt some type of victory. This woman and her husband are charged. I don't know. Let's listen to this.
To other news at 5, and Abilene Schneider, the woman charged in a deadly dog attack that killed an elderly man earlier this year, makes her first court appearance today. Schneider and her husband, Christian Moreno, are charged because they own the dogs that killed Ramon Naheda in February on Depla Street off Highway 90. Naheda, along with his wife, brutally attacked by a pack of dogs. The judge today asking Schneider's lawyer to speak with her husband's attorney to see if they would agree.
I don't know why I said a pack. It was two of them. It's two dogs, from what I understand. This is the case where the fire officers were fighting off the dogs with axes, isn't it? That's this case. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. So I don't know why they said a pack of dogs.
Agreed to try their cases together. Last week, Christian Moreno made his first hearing appearance. Both Schneider and Moreno facing a second-degree charge of dangerous dog attack resulting in death and a third-degree charge of injury to the elderly. Both are set to be back in court on October 25th.
Keep up to date with all of San Antonio.
They shouldn't be free right now. They should be locked up, waiting for their court date. Why do they get to lamp in luxury at home? They probably adopted more dogs by now, knowing these nutters. So I'm going to keep an eye on that most definitely, because the outcome of this case, because some of these cases, when they let these people off and nothing happens to them, there should be major backlash. Major backlash after some of these cases. Some of these cases are just flat out criminal, how they let some of these people off. And these people should most definitely go to prison. Prison. Those dogs killed a man. They had gotten multiple complaints. And remember, this was that case where there had been like over 200 phone calls made about those dogs. 200 phone calls to both animal control and the police department, right? Nothing was done. So yeah, justice better get served in this case. Now, this guy, let's get to the point of this video. I want to respond to Dark Dynasty. You see the title, I own the world's biggest 12th pit bull worth, what, 2 million? I know his kids are roaming the UK. So he feels that some of the XL bullies in the UK actually has some of the DNA of his dog. And they brought him onto this show to spew some propaganda, and I want to respond to it.
Giving baths today? Yeah, he's gotta clean me. I get dirty from eating.
Now wait a minute. I don't want to show that. Yeah, notice how they started it off showing an act of endangerment. A baby being endangered. Okay? That's how they get down. Everything is demonic when it comes to the pit nutter culture, when it comes to the bully breed culture. Every single thing is demonic, and everything must involve the sacrifice of kids more than anything else. And after that, it's the sacrifice of women. The least appealing person to be paired with a bully breed is a man like this guy. Dog lovers, pit nutters, they're not moved when they see a man with one of these things. They like to see women and toddlers, babies, kids. The more vulnerable you are, the less capable you are of fighting off an attack. The more they get off on seeing you around it, because their nut culture is all about sacrifice. Again, this is very hideous. Okay, natural animals are not this difficult to look at. This mouth that's flinging all over the place is not supposed to be flinging all over the place. Okay, the rim of its mouth is not supposed to be flying around. And with other animals, it doesn't. It's only with the mutant. Okay, another example, another expression of its mutation right in your face. These things are so mutated that the skin above their eyes sometimes gets so excess it starts hanging over their eyes. Now listen to this. Owner Marlon Greenan says he knows that this mutt's offspring were or have been illegally exported to the UK.
I have a large fan base in the UK, so people will be like, you know, I've seen this dog here, I've seen that dog. That's kind of how I know, like, you know, through the grapevine. I know his descendants are there, and maybe even one or two of his direct kids, but again, not from me. You know, I myself, I've never sent dogs to the UK myself personally, you know, because, you know, obviously they weren't allowed there. And for me, I don't want to put my dogs, you know, it's always this gray areas of like, you know, are they just yanking dogs out of houses and murdering them and whatever? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm over here, so I don't know what's going on over there in that regard, but I would never put my dogs in that type of a situation. So my dogs aren't allowed to go into countries where they're not allowed. We don't do that. This is not new. This has happened multiple times in history. You look, they did this to German Shepherds, they did this to Rottweilers, they did this to Dobermans, they did this.
Let me stop here, because this is a good example of what a lot of people would say is a responsible dog owner. And I'm saying, no, it's not. Y'all might look at this guy and say, oh, this is a nice, strong young man, is in good shape. I'm telling y'all, I'm looking at this guy. He looks like he's about 140 pounds, 135, 140 pounds. This is a very light man. And it's very possible that dog weighs more than him. Nobody is capable of controlling these things. It's irresponsible for anybody to be in possession of these things. Just like these things can get away from everybody else, it can get away from him too. And I don't care if he was 300 pounds of pure muscle. These things can get away from anybody.
The pit bulls, if we're separating the breeds, like, they do this. This is a common occurrence. We don't understand something, we fear it, we blame it. This is just what we do. We've been doing it for generations. So to think that you're just going to create more rules and all of a sudden, you know, everything's going to be perfect is insane. I mean, I as I said to you before, I mean, what's the one thing that we know about rules? Rules were created to be broken. People break rules all the time. So just because you create these rules doesn't mean that people are going to follow them. So
now, let me stop there, because he's fast talking everybody. He's talking about this XL bully ban, and he's saying that, hey, banning them is not going to work because people always break rules. You know, banning dogs, he's trying to speak against the idea of banning dogs, period. Saying it doesn't work because, hey, yeah, you know, people will break the rules. This is nothing but nonsense. If there are no dogs on the planet, there are no dogs on the planet. There's nowhere for you to get more from. Okay, it's that simple. And for the most part, if all large dogs are driven into extinction, you know, it's very easy to make sure that large dogs are not bred into existence again. And if they are, fine. As soon as they're spotted by general public, they call the animal control, get rid of them. The problem is the right laws have not been implemented.
Educating people is what needs to happen. That's where you really need to focus.
No matter how much education you get, anybody else gets, it's not going to make you some type of superhero. You're not going to acquire superpowers and be able to control and neutralize and prevent these attacks. Stop it.
It's on education.
Critics of the law say identifying them has proved difficult and led to hundreds of owners having their dogs wrongly impounded. That's a lie. I'm saying that, and I'm not even in the UK. I'm saying that without even having seen the dogs they've confiscated, and I'm telling you right now, 100% that's a lie. Every single time these pit bull advocates say that the XL bully or some other bully breed has been misidentified. It's not really an XL bully. It's always a bully breed that they confiscated. And if it's a bully breed, then it's dangerous. And they need to be getting rid of all the bully breeds. To just single out the XL bully is ridiculous. We all know it's a fraud. But it is better than not having an XL bully ban at all. Okay? But listen, I don't personally believe anybody has misidentified these things. A large bully breed is very easy to identify. I don't know what they're talking about.
It's the most popular dog.
If it's the most popular dog and y'all all know what they are, then why you keep saying they're hard to identify? It's easy for you to identify them when you want one. When you want to brag about one, when you want to take a stupid IG photo. But when we talk about banning them, suddenly, oh, we can't, there's no way to detect them. Stop it. That's a disrespectful lie, man. People are not that dumb. Stop it.
Like in the world. That's why, everything's... It's the most popular dog, like in the world. That's why, everything's a pit mix, this or that. Everything, you hear that word everywhere. You throw it around everywhere. It's the most popular breed of dog. So, I think harping on the fact that it's not about a breed is important, but also understanding that different...
Yeah, okay, so he's pushing the pro-pit agenda. You heard him just there. He spoke against breed-specific bans. Let me back that up because he's fast-talking in here.
Everything, you hear that word everywhere. You throw it around everywhere. It's the most popular breed of dog. So, I think harping on the fact that it's not about a breed is important, but also understanding that different breeds of dogs require different things and certain...
He said harping on the fact that it's not about the breed is important. So he agrees it's not about the breed. And then he immediately says this. How can you say it's not about the breed and then say
different things in certain dogs? And the fact that it's not about a breed is important, but also understanding that different breeds of dogs require different things in certain dogs.
Different breeds require different things, but yet breed is not a factor. Make up your mind. They do this all the time. And why is it we always have to deal with this? Every time we want to give these people an ear, give y'all a chance to say something to plead your case, why are you always contradicting yourself? But it don't surprise me. It's because you have a losing argument. There's no way to make it a winning argument.
A breed is important, but also understanding that different breeds of dogs require different things and certain dogs aren't for certain people.
That means breed is a factor. Okay, thank you for helping me to prove that point. Breed is a factor. This guy, if I were to ever interview him, or if he was to ever interview me, that whole moment of us going back and forth would be an anti-dog moment, because he would be helping me to build the case against these things, even though he probably would think that he's, defending them, because that's how difficult it is, impossible it is to justify their presence in society.
Right, I'd be willing to say probably 40% of people that have these dogs probably shouldn't.
He said he believes 40% of the people who have these dogs should not have them. No, 100% of the people who have these dogs should not have them. And you really got some nerves making a statement like that. Why would you just throw some random statement out there like that? I would say 40% of bully breed owners shouldn't own them. How would you know? How you know it ain't 100%? It is 100%. You crazy? No, 40%. Okay, let's finish this.
But in terms of how they're getting dogs into different countries,
oh boy, listen to this.
It's simple. People have friends that, like I said, it's like, this is just assuming that everybody follows the rules. It's like, all you do is you have a friend that's a vet. They write a different breed on a certificate. They're not.
There you go. He's spilling the beans for everybody.
Gonna argue with it.
All you need is a friend who is a vet and just have them write a different breed on a certificate. And they do this all the time. They know a vet, they know somebody here, somebody there, and they'll just write a different breed for a pit bull or for some other bully breed. And that's how these nutters, and that's why all bully breeds just should be gotten rid of. They should be exterminated.
That everybody follows the rules. It's like, all you do is you have a friend that's a vet. They write a different breed on a certificate. They're not going to argue with it at the airport or in different places. They send the dog over there and that's that. It's a lot easier than you would assume. It's quite simple. You know, the dog just comes with paperwork that says that it's something else.
There you go. So he is building the case as to why this ban on the XL bully is worthless. It's worthless. And they know it. And they ultimately, this is a promotion of bully breeds.
And that's that. If we want to approach fixing this problem, it's really as simple as you have to educate people. You know, you have to
educate them. There's nothing for this lady, for example. There is no amount of knowledge that you could give her that would equip her with the ability to restrain this thing. No matter what she knows in her brain, she's going to get yanked off her feet and snatched to the ground. The dog is going to snatch that collar right out of her hand. It's going to slip right out of her hand. I don't care what she knows. So stop it. And if she tries to hold on to that leash, the dog will simply drag her. And look at what he's promoting here. He's got this dog walking with this kid. You know this kid can't restrain this thing. Okay? That's insanity.
It's really as simple as you have to educate people. You know, you have to educate people.
Educate them. Again, people, why don't they ever tell us what they're supposed to be educated about? All they do is say education, education. People need to be educated. Educated on what? Why don't you just tell us what they're supposed to be educated on? Spill the beans. It's because they know they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't got nothing to tell us because they ain't talking about it. Ain't no education. What's the education? What's the great knowledge, sir? You never get around to it because there is nothing. That's the whole point. Y'all want to speak in vague terminologies and all this nonsense to avoid dealing with the discussion.
And that's that. If we want to approach fixing this problem, it's really as simple as you have to educate people. You know, you have to educate people at the base. You have to take away the stigma of this, you know, it's this owner, it's that owner, it's all, right? It's not just the guy that's like the one guy on the Good Morning Britain or whatever, he said the hip hop gangsters. It's not only the hip hop gangsters, you know.
Now y'all remember that guy he's talking about, which was just a flat out racist statement on his part to make, to say that the people who own XL bullies are all hip hop gangster thugs, which is nonsense, because it seems like most of the owners of these things are owners like this woman right here. That's what it looks like, both in the UK and here in the United States. They seem like the majority, because when you go look up these pit bull organizations, like these groups, most of them are all women. And, you know, or to be mostly women. And, you know, they are different. When it comes to being a fan of bully breeds or dogs, women are different. They bring their heart into it a whole lot more.
You know, that are creating these problems. Something that I think is important, right? It's just the terminology, right? Where we say she's comfortable because of the way.
Now, he claims to be a responsible dog owner, but yet he does not spay and neuter his dogs. Okay, keep that in mind.
The dogs are trained. I just think it's.
Okay, now, listen to this. Is the important part right here. Now, he's basically trying to argue that bans. He's arguing against breed bans, basically. But listen to what he talks about here. He's saying it's about how the dog is raised.
Right, it's just the terminology, right? Where we say she's comfortable because of the way the dogs are trained. I just think it raised. It's training is not what it is.
That's the biggest thing. Is not enough people, I don't think, know about dog behavior. They literally think it's the same thing.
It's not at all.
It's just training.
It's not training. It's how they're how they're raised.
Shut up. These are not humans. You don't raise them, nutter. It does something that you want it to do and you give it a treat. It does something you don't want it to do, you don't give it a treat. Instead, you slap it across the head. That's training. You can call it raising if you want, but that's exactly what y'all do. You use food to shape its behavior. That's training. You can call it whatever you want, nutter. These people kill me thinking that they're saying something so magical and sophisticated. Here they go with that magical dog talk.
It's the structure and with how they are brought up.
It's the structure in which how they are brought. What exactly how? What structure are you talking about? What goes on day to day in these magical homes that create harmless bully breeds? Exactly what's going on. Why don't you ever get around to detailing what's going on? Because all you're talking about is hugs and kisses. There's literally nothing else that you could be talking about. You don't know no magic tricks. Talking about raising them. Now, behind closed doors, I personally believe this guy slaps these dogs around. I personally believe he uses violence. I believe he understands that dogs understand and operate on aggression. I don't trust no male so-called dog handler of bully breeds. I believe they all slap those dogs around because we as men with high testosterone, we understand the dog's attitude. We understand the dog's character of being a bully. And we understand that you address that by establishing yourself as the bigger bully, as the alpha. I don't trust these people at all. And that's training as well.
I don't think
it ain't raising. When you raise a child, you can't raise a dog. You can only raise a child. Because raising involves using language. You nutters are not going to sit here and dismiss the importance or the role of language. You're not going to minimize, you're not going to dehumanize people. You can only raise children. And it must involve the use of language, ability to understand language and have human emotions. You got to have human cognitive skills to raise and to be raised. A worthless mutant can only be trained. So stop it.
Know about dog behavior. They literally think it's the same thing.
And dog behavior ain't rocket science. Shut up. Everybody knows dog behavior. Everybody knows they bark, that they'll attack for no reason. They stink. We understand dog behavior. Stop it.
That's the biggest thing. Is not enough people, I don't think, know about dog behavior. They literally think it's the same thing.
It's not at all.
It's just training.
It's not training. It's how they're how they're raised. It's the structure and with how they are brought up.
Like kids, my kids could be the most intelligent kids in the world and know how to do every math problem in their head, but they could be incredibly disrespectful.
The kid could be disrespectful how? Kids can't be disrespectful to a predator that y'all brought into the home. You know, y'all doing something dumb from the get-go. Bringing a predator into the home and playing with it as if it's a toy. You're the one being disrespectful. These people got some nerve, man. They do something that's totally out of this world that they shouldn't be doing. And then they try to blame kids who not even in control of the home, of the environment, when the kid does the same thing that they do. Disrespectful how? The only thing kids do to dogs is try to pet them. And the kids who might slap a dog, whack a dog, hit a dog, those kids are also doing what kids do. And at that point, you are to blame for bringing a predator into the home. Any and everything you bring into the home is supposed to be safe. That's what the reckless endangerment law is all about. Even the law is saying that. Say, hey, don't bring nothing dangerous into. You're breaking the law just having a gun in there. Something that's dangerous that does not have a brain of its own. Here, there's something deadly that has a brain of its own that you don't fully understand. Wow, okay, they're laying it on thick.
It's how they're raised. It's the structure and with how they are brought up.
Like kids, my kids could be the most intelligent kids in the world and know how to do every math problem in their head, but they could be incredibly disrespectful and be off the walls at home because they don't have structure.
That didn't even make no sense. I'm sorry, that didn't even make no sense. I don't know what kind of point you was trying to make with that.
But they could be incredibly disrespectful.
The kids can be disrespectful how? To the dog, what? How?
And be off the walls at
off the walls
home because they don't.
At home? What are you talking? I don't even understand what she's talking about.
And be off the walls at home because they don't have structure.
Because they don't have structure. You got a predator in the home. Don't talk to me about the child's misbehavior and how they behave and interact with a predator that you're stupid behind brought into the home.
American XL bully is clearly a danger to our communities. It's right that we take urgent action to stop these attacks and protect the public.
A moment of extreme...
Yeah, you know, these people really make me sick. They really make me sick. We're people, as humans, we don't have no control. Most of us, we don't even remember what we did, what we were doing day to day at age 3, 4, age 5, 6. Especially if you're around my age or older, we don't even remember what we were doing or what state of mind we were in at those. None of us remember. Of course we touch things. We're not misbehaving when we're 5 years old, walking around touching stuff. We're exploring the world. That means you're not supposed to bring a predator into the home where kids are exploring the world through touch. It's not misbehavior. It's human behavior. Normal. See, the thing is with these nutters, they don't understand things that's normal. Things that's normal, they look at as abnormal because they are naturally backwards, which is basically, you could look at them as like Satan's people, the people of the devil. Backwardness. That's a key component of Satanism.
Violence has left a family, friends and a community mourning the taking of a young, innocent life.
Look, it's a horrible situation and I couldn't imagine losing one of my children or anything like that. But the facts remain, the fault lies on the owners of the dogs. And that's it. Not a breed of dog. The facts remain.
No. He's just saying that that's a fact. He's not explaining nothing. We just supposed to take your word for it, huh? The breed has nothing to do with it, huh? So had Jack Lease been attacked by a poodle, he would have still been killed, right? That's what you're saying? Had he been attacked by a squirrel, had he been attacked by a Jack Russell, huh? One of those little hot dog, sausage dogs. Pomeranian. Are you saying he would have been killed? So you're lying. Okay, what you're saying is simply not true. The breed is a factor. I don't know what you're talking about.
Young, innocent life.
look, it's a horrible situation, and I couldn't imagine losing one of my children or anything like that. But the facts remain, the fault lies on the owners of the dogs, and that's it.
Yeah, they shouldn't have owned them. The fault is being in possession of them.
Not a breed of dog. The facts remain. That's just it. You know, whether I'm harsh or cruel or whatever, I'm not trying to be. I couldn't imagine losing my children. But
he's lying. You're lying. You don't care about losing your kids. If you did, you wouldn't bring dogs around them. That is your way of telling the world, I don't care if my kids live or die. What you talking about? Actions speak louder than words. Don't sit there and tell me you couldn't imagine losing your kids when you flirt with the possibility every single day. That's exactly what you get off on. Y'all getting off on the possibility of losing your kids. And you don't care if it happens. That's why you're opening the door for it to happen. That's why you're creating a type of home for it to happen. There are several kids who get attacked inside the home with dogs. That's the same home you govern. So what you talking about? Actions speak louder than words, so shut up. See, this is why I don't like this dishonesty right here. Why volunteer to tell the world that you don't value your own kid's life? We don't need to know that. But they bend over backwards to let us know. Okay? So understand that. These people are hypocrites. Sitting up here endangering his kids on a daily basis, sacrificing their safety, both of them. And they got the nerve to sit up on camera talk about, oh, I couldn't imagine losing my kids. Oh, what a nightmare. Shut up.
I'm harsh or cruel or whatever. I'm not trying to be. I couldn't imagine losing my children. But if we're going to be real and we're going to actually fix issues, we can't worry about padding people's feelings. We have to tell the truth, right? And I think that's what I mean, where it's like you have to get the right people, the people that are going to tell the truth, that are not going to pad the truth, because padding it will...
Now, this is over the top endangerment right here. That's too much. That's too much. They got a baby. Wow, a baby pulling on the tail of a giant bully breed. I can't even count how many trainers themselves said never pull a dog's tail, don't let kids pull a dog's tail. But that's what kids do. And that baby is not misbehaving. Y'all, people who say that a baby is misbehaving by grabbing something need to be backhanded. Every last one of you, 2 times, saying nonsense like that. That a baby grabbing onto something is misbehaving. Only evil, demonically possessed people say stuff like that. And I'm telling y'all, these nutters are possessed. They're all possessed. Completely out of their minds, man.
Tell the truth, that are not going to pad the truth, because padding it will not help. I feel a sense of responsibility in a way to where it's like, look, Hulk's probably is the most famous dog in the world, in this. And, we played a big role in terms of, popularizing these dogs and people seeing us.
You played a big role in the death and the lifetime disfigurement of several children, several women, several of the elderly. Okay? That's the most significant impact that you've had. And that's a fact. I'm not sitting here dumping untrue or false propaganda on these people. They're the ones simply not being honest. I get on here and I'm being truthful and honest and straight up calling it how it is. Somehow IHD is the bad guy. Y'all can come on here with your criticisms all you want. You have to understand it does not affect me. It bounces right off me. Okay? Y'all are the ones violating people. Y'all the ones being evil in this world. So yeah, good for you, dude. You got a lot of people hurt. You got a lot of people attacked. A lot of lives was lost, permanently changed because of you, because of your influence. You proud of that type of influence? People who are influenced by me, they're safer. They not putting their family in danger no more. So, hey, be proud of whatever you want to be proud of.
Dogs and people seeing us and seeing our lifestyle, and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, everybody wants one of these dogs. So, you know, I feel a certain sense of responsibility to, you know, teach people the right thing, which we always do. But when something...
No, you don't. This is crazy. Man, can't y'all just feel the evil? Like, dude, what are you... That he has some audacity. We're teaching people to... No, you're not. You're doing the exact opposite. Wow. You're not teaching people to stay safe and to keep their kids safe. You're teaching them to endanger their kids. You know what the problem is? Or what I think the problem has been with a lot of men in the world. They, I believe, they looked at being against bully breeds, against dogs, being an anti-dog person. They looked at that as being soft. Or somehow that's not manly, that's not macho. That's what at least I suspect. You know, a lot of guys that look at it like there's no cool way to be an anti-dog person. It's just insecurity. Right now, in today's world, people cringe at the thought of doing the right thing. People cringe at the thought of being respectful, showing proper respect. Today, people have a much easier time smearing people's name, being sarcastic, being condescending, ridiculing people. Okay, what's difficult for the average person today is to say, sorry about that, that was my fault. I apologize. Right? Don't put your kids in danger. That's just not cool. Don't bring predators, giant predators that kill kids on a regular basis into the home. Y'all not going to ignore the reputation that these dogs have created for themselves. You will not ignore the track record that they've created for themselves. When you go to court, the first thing they do is they pull out your record. Your sentence will largely depend on what you've done in your lifetime. And if you have an extensive record, rest assured you're going to get locked up. Okay? Now these things, what we do know is around 14,000 people are bitten in the United States every year. They say a little over 2,000 need emergency care treatment. Some 50% of all victims are children. So around 1,000 children in the U.S. alone need to go to the emergency room. You encouraging people to surround themselves and to surround their kids with creatures with a record like that is not teaching them the right thing. As simple as that. Simple as that. You're lying. What you're saying is not true. It is as simple as that. Okay? Now, if you disagree and you don't appreciate me being critical of you, hey, go ahead and knock yourself out. Leave a comment. This guy does have a YouTube channel. He's got millions of subscribers on his YouTube channel. But listen, I don't care. It doesn't matter how many subscribers. I'm telling y'all this now. If I get one day 1 million subscribers, even if it's 1 million subscribers, these dog people will not respond to us. They're not. I don't think so. No matter how popular we get, even if several media outlets are doing articles on us. And listen, people, eventually, like when they start to actually write about us, they're going to share some of your comments in those articles. They do that all the time. They're going to share your comments in the chat room and in the comment section of these videos in those articles. Right? And when they start to do that, when they finally start to talk about us, they're going to have to point out that what we're talking about makes sense and it is in the best interest of safety, right? But these people with these channels, I don't believe they're ever going to acknowledge us because that's like suicide. Why would you accept to be in a debate with one of us? That will do nothing but hurt your brand. It's not going to hurt us at all. They're in the business of selling dogs. They're in the dog business. So they depend on the people who believe everything they say. They don't want to address their critics. What's another sign that they're nothing but con artists? People who completely ignore their critics. Who does that? Nobody. Honestly, your fans don't even want you to do that. That's why I believe this dog culture is on its way out the window. You know, say you're a fan of Tucker Carlson or some other journalist or whatever, some other media figure. You're a big fan of them. You don't want to see them avoid debates. You know, if somebody else calls them out on something that they've said or something that they say or believe, you don't want to see somebody you're a fan of cower away and avoid those debates. But that's exactly what these dog trainers and so-called experts are going to have to do, because if they engage or respond to us, they know it's just going to really, really hurt their brand. It's going to hurt their image, period. That's why I've said, and I keep saying, all you people in the dog industry, you should try to segue now. Start to get into something else. Start on the side in your spare time. Train some rabbits. Train something else, because I believe eventually people are going to segue into other pets, and dogs in general will be a thing of the past. The only time you'll see a dog is on TV or in a book. And I cannot wait for the day for that to happen. But I believe we'll have our dog-free societies before then, because you know what I believe is going to happen. And shout out to somebody who elaborated on the possibility of dog-free societies as well. What's going to happen, those dog-free societies will happen. There's no way that it could not. There's no way that these big corporations with big money is going to miss out or pass up on the opportunity of guaranteed success. Okay? I don't care where you put it. If you put a dog-free area anywhere in the United States, people are going to move there and they're never going to leave. Ever, ever, ever. Anti-dog people are the most passionate about their beliefs, in my opinion, than even religious people. Easily. And that's how it is with the truth. And that's what it's basically all about. It ain't about magic, no anti-dog magic either. I ain't into all that. It's just about people who acknowledge the truth. Okay? So keep spreading the word. Stay safe. Stay prepared to lay a mutt down. Keep your phone on you, just in case you gotta record somebody. And I'm gonna do the target. I haven't forgot about you. I'm just waiting, because after I mentioned it, I got another photo. So I'll probably knock that. Most definitely, I'll knock that out tomorrow. We're gonna deal with Target tomorrow, and this weekend we're gonna put in some real good work. Big shout out to everybody able to join me for this live stream. And I hope to see you all on the next as we continue with this crusade.